Ladies and gentlemen, Goji Center has uploaded the final to the Great Hybrid War. Let's react to it. So, if you guys don't already know the routine, please subscribe to the channel. It really shows your support. And I keep asking this in like a few videos. I can't remember the last time, but I want you guys to comment down below if you think that I should start doing a series on my channel where I play with my video game console. It's called a Raymax. It's got a bunch of cool games on it from many different companies, such as PlayStation, Sega, Nintendo, the NES, OG, Nintendo, like Pokemon and Kirby. So yeah, please comment down below if you want me to play some of the games. And let's react. Gotta clean the room. Sorry about that ads, but now let's get into it.
On Goji Center, we return to put an end to the most chaotic war.
Let's go, boys.
To bring forth a champion to take on the animal currently known as Indom 2.0, more than 16.
Okay, me personally, I am rooting for Gilgamesh or Ceratops. So, yeah, let's go.
Brave geneticists unleashed their creations. Many perished. Many found themselves in the Hall of Shame. Some were well built, but only the best of the best will make it to the dreaded stage of facing the pale horse of extinction. After a few rounds, the creme de la creme was rendered down to just four. Ceratops barbaricus.
Dude, that's sick, man. I love those models. Those are so cool. Let's go, boys.
Where we left off. Ceratops, after passing to the final round, will now square up against another gestalt of some of the most heavily armored herbivores of all time.
I'm excited.
Both of these animals are highly defensive.
Me personally, I think... Okay, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go bias Ceratops. Let's go. Come on, Carano. You got this.
And the other is a phalanx of spears. Getting through the armor of either of them is going to be a Herculean task. But
I got Carano.
Having its opponent come to it first, so it can pull a counterattack using that horn and beak, being able to strike at approaches from multiple angles. Whereas Ceratops doesn't have to rely on that methodology. Instead,
also, shout out to Goji Center. Their channel is in the description. Go check them out.
It goes on the offensive much more easily thanks to its more agile frame and easier to aim weapons. Both of these armored herbivores combine aspects of an ankylosaur and ceratopsian, but Ceratops focuses more on the latter and Ferropelta more on the former. Definitely solid choices considering both types of herbivores had to deal with large tyrannosaurs for millions of years towards the end of the Cretaceous.
Okay.
Both of them have a formidable set of jaws that can grapple and potentially
Carano got the better jaws for real, for real.
Both have other assets to call upon, such as the spiky armor and larger frill on Ceratops, making attempts by a 2.0 to climb on top of it or target the neck a fool's errand. Whereas its iron-hided ally bears an alarming threat display to confuse an enemy, and
Kingdom's kind of lost its type, not gonna lie.
Defense on its back. Two of the differences between them.
Also, guys, comment down below if you think that the Indom 2.0 has lost some of its hype. Let me know.
Is the types of horns and tail-borne weapons they employ. Numerous ceratopsians experimented with different styles of horns. Some for chiefly display, some were primarily for competing against their own kind, and some would have been unwieldy against a predator. The
Goofy banana horn
would still be plenty lethal, but it would be more effective swung upwards to try and stab at an opponent attempting to get past the head and on top of its
Those models are so cool.
Meanwhile, the large brow horns of the Ceratops might not be as effective when swung up, but they can be used to fence, stab, and be employed as a lance in a charge more effectively. Ankylosaurs also experimented with a wide variety of armor and weapons. Some of these prioritized defense as the best offense. Others might have been focusing more on size for their defense and used their clubs against their own kind. And others still might have focused on predator defense. The primary contributor to the tail of Ferropelta, an Odontosaurus, is a dark horse pick. But a study of the mechanics for its sledgehammer tail found an ideal design for delivering crushing hits on a strike. More so than the Ankylosaurus-like club on Ceratops that could be swung about quickly, but would have lacked as much striking force. So these two are neck and neck in so many categories.
Carano got that.
Methodology for this round will win the day. One of these two is near second to none in defensive
fighting,
but the other one trades away
its agility is just higher agility over Pharaoh.
But our best
I think that
run
would just
rather than
might
stands
seal
waiting
the
for the
deal.
enemy to come to it. Whereas the more accentuated horns of the other hybrid can be used both defensively and offensively. Being able to pick and force the fight against the 2.0 might prove critical.
Dang,
Tyrannoceratops
that was
doesn't need to be
brutal.
faster than the 2.0 to chase it down. It just needs to keep up with it enough to not allow its atrocious adversary the chance to rest in between
Indominus
skirmishes.
cooked.
In the open arena, this contest is set in. That's important. Ferapelto would be suitable for rumbles in the jungle, and would be the perfect choice for a flank guard in between skirmishes. But for that full frontal charge, it'll be the shield behind the spear that is Tyrannoceratops.
Let's
The
go!
menace scores its way to the finale.
Yes, baby.
The other semifinal features Armatus Gigantus evaluated
Glory
against
art.
Yama Brontorax. This matchup is
Come on,
a
Gilgamesh.
perfect contrast.
It's not like you're up
Sorcerer's
against
Stone
the
made by
largest
hybridizing
creature
numerous
that's
contributors
ever
and named
lived,
for a legendary
aside from the
hybrid
blue
hero
whale.
king, contrasted with a simple sauropod design whose power is anything but simple by being built upon possibly the most powerful titan to ever walk the earth.
Besides Grug, of
Had
course.
this been a competition where the hybrids were fighting each other, this would have been a war for the ages. God King against towering titan. But
Dang.
it would end with a pretty well-defined winner. Armatus Gigantus is an absolute juggernaut of a combatant and would handily wipe the floor with potentially scores of rabid attackers. However, in the scenario we have, the Tower of Power does have one weakness, in that any engagement has to be on its opponent's terms. The 2.0
Yeah,
can
for real.
keep a trotting pace.
Well, that's the
and
issue with
handily outrun
sauropods.
its opponent, keeping a distance and
They're just
only rushing in for hit
so
and run
slow.
attacks or attempting to climb
They
onto
can't
its
really
titanic
land
opponent.
any effective
Make no
hits.
mistake, Armatus Gigantus absolutely would win a majority of the battles where it got pitted against the 2.0 on neutral ground. It's even one of the few hybrids that could conceivably fight off multiple attackers at the same time and still have a very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
However, being able to chase down and keep the pressure on the 2.0 when it tries to retreat or fall back after getting wounded might be critical. Something Gilgamesh
Very
has
nice.
more than enough ability to do. Had Armatus been somewhat lighter and kept up a consistent pace better, this very close contest would have been tilted the other way. Gilgamesh
Let's
still
go.
has more than
Okay.
enough mass and strength to crush his opponents, the intelligence to keep up with its
I love
strategies,
that
and
artwork
still
so
has
much,
the
dude.
agility
That's
and
sick.
nimbleness to chase it down if it has to. It wouldn't be
Emily's
reliant
step
on waiting
artwork.
for its opponent to come to it. When the hybrid teams are turned loose against the 2.0 hordes,
Rips.
Armatus
Rip
Gigantus will
Nemi.
prove to be
I
a
love
critical
Nemi.
flagship for the team to rally around.
Goat
The Hulk
hybrid.
of the squads as the heavy assault tank. But its Hadrosaur comrade will be the one leading the charge
Let's
from
go,
the front.
man.
Gilgamesh makes it onward to the finale.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present
Between these two, it's a tough. I think I'm gonna have to say that Carano. I think Carano takes the W.
to you the finalists of the Great Hybrid War, Tyrannoceratops
Come on.
against Yama Brontorax.
I think Carano got that.
Triceratops and Shantungosaurus. Outside of the most titanic of the sauropods, these two herbivores are some of the mightiest herbivores of the Mesozoic,
Yep.
and the apexes of their families. And both of them went against two of the largest tyrannosaurs to ever exist. Both of these combatants are armed
T-Rex
and armored from
is
head to tail,
overrated.
with
Yup,
two of the
I said it.
strongest jaws, powerful
Yup, I just said it. I just said it. T-Rex is overrated. Fight me in the comments. But T-Rex is overrated.
but agile bodies, excellent reach, and robust defenses. Tyrannoceratops has a very slight edge in offensive capabilities with its one-shot kill maneuver. A full-on charge and goring impalement capability unlike any other hybrid seen in the top 16, being much more straightforward to land. Yama Brontorax, meanwhile, can also end a fight quickly by a combination of a body slam followed up by a head bite and trample. This
Oof,
attack is
jeez.
not as streamlined to
It's got a
execute,
side
but
spike to the
still
face.
just as lethal. Gilgamesh, however, does hold a lead in finesse, its longer tail giving it a greater reach, and its body being less stout and able to react quicker. Tyrannoceratops, however, isn't so far behind in
Damn,
that
bro,
regard
that's
by a wide
brutal.
margin. It still has plenty of options to fight back, even if its opponent gets past the horns. How would these two fare against the 2.0? After much analysis and discussion between the Goji Center team
Come on,
on how these
Carano.
confrontations could go, it
Come on,
was revealed
Carano.
that both excel
Come
at
on.
defeating the theropod
Come
in
on.
open battle
Come on,
at
Carano.
pretty good rates.
Come on, Carano.
Tyrannoceratops fights just like his base contributor.
Come on,
Horns
Carano.
splayed directly at the attacker without the
Come on,
worry
come on,
of getting
come
a fatal injury if the 2.0 flanks it. Thanks to its armor, options to attack at the rear, and a pretty nasty bite with a
Tyrannoceratops.
few nasty side effects. Yamabrontorax excelled at both defense and offense, just like Tyrannoceratops, using its
Yeah, I don't
massive
know. Its
armored
agility
body as a
might make the
weapon, turning
difference.
defense into offense in seconds, with options of attack from the front, bottom, and rear, and nearly
Rip and
impenetrable
Dom.
armor on its back. Without any terrain to take advantage of and no sharp logs or pylons, the 2.0 is outclassed in both scenarios. The winner has been decided, ladies and
Come on,
gents, by
Corona.
unanimous decision at Goji
Tyrannoceratops,
Center
please.
HQ. The winner of the
Come on,
first hybrid
Tyrannoceratops.
war
Tyrannoceratops.
is Bull.
What?
You heard us right. Bull, Gilgamesh, and Tyrannoceratops.
Plot twist! Oh my goodness.
Were both so well designed that for every one flaw in one, another could be found in its opposite. For every strength and advantage in one, there was another for the other. Truly, this was a war unlike many others. Some of
Seriously,
the
bro?
other members of the top 16 these two surpassed might have had the opposite result in a different lineup. This hybrid war had potentially many more entries that could have defeated a 2.0 in a straight contest. So, to any of our competing geneticists watching, even if your hybrid did not make the honorable mentions, pat yourselves on the back as we give you a thumbs up.
Just gave myself a pat on the back.
Now, with our champions fully rendered and ready to rumble their foe in 3D, we can turn these dozens of viable genomes loose where they are needed
Go,
most.
bro.
Tyrannoceratops and Yamabrontorax are now being deployed to the ravaged Isla Nubla as frontrunners of this massive army composed of the other members of the top 16, honorable mentions, and more. These two will lead hundreds of hybrid combatants in Mortal Kombat, and we are sure they will win.
So cool.
Operation Destroy All Hybrids has now begun.
What? Peak video. Absolutely peak. Okay, everybody. That is everything I have for today. That was so sick. And make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I've been the Inferno Dragon. We out. See you guys.